Hey, welcome to another episode of Silence is Golden. I'm Beavis, and this is Butthead. Shut up, Butthead. What are we talking about this week, Butthead?
Shut up, Beavis.
Okay. I think we're talking about WordPress and stuff, huh?
Today, we're going to be talking about design feedback from clients.
Sounds good.
Stay with us.
Hilarious. Funny.
So we got a bit of feedback the other episode that we kind of look like Beavis and Butthead. So
Particularly when we look at each other, apparently. We look like Beavis and Butthead. So we thought we'd just prove that we
true.
actually look nothing like Beavis and Butthead. And
did it work?
I don't know.
I don't think
I
so.
don't even know if we're live. I have no idea. Live stream. We're having problems getting live stream to Facebook. Live stream has one job, to live stream to Facebook, and apparently it's not working. So we could just be talking to the ether right now, talking to no one.
Shall we have a look?
Yeah.
Your computer's not even on. So
It
that's
is. Well, it is.
not
It is
helping.
now. I'm going to log in to the Facebook
Cool.
and see if it's working.
All right. So just to recap what we're talking about, because we didn't really do that very well, we're going to run through some quick news. We're going to talk about our desktop server has a new version out, so there's some improvements there. We're going to get into some Q&A as always, but the core topic today is about getting getting feedback from clients, but specifically with the design phase. So we're going to go through some different tools and strategies in order to do that. So kicking off with what's new in WordPress, WordPress 4.9.2 is out. It's a maintenance release for all versions of WordPress since 3-point-something, so make sure you maintain your site and keep it updated. It's important to do that for security reasons, so back up your site, back up your files, back up your database, and perform the update. Check to make sure everything is looking good. Shouldn't be any issues, but just make sure you're getting into good habits with maintenance to keep your site safe and secure.
Do you do auto updates? Do you host with WP Engine and just let the magic thing update via the magic cloud?
Yeah.
Yeah? The Beavis and Buttheads running around behind plugging in all the
That's
cables?
it, yeah. I wish, that'd be great.
Do you
if they
check-
sent me an email and said, oh, it's all sweet.
Once it's...
Hey, Butthead, I just worked something out, man. This sucks.
If you haven't seen Beavis and Butthead Do America, I strongly suggest you watch Beavis and Butthead Do America. It will make you dumber, but it's fun. When WP Engine send you an email saying, hey, your WordPress has been updated, do you then go and manually check the thing and make sure the links aren't broken and all that kind of stuff?
Not for maintenance releases.
Right.
We've been through quite a few maintenance releases and haven't had any issues since. So
Right.
It's only when it comes to
Release
bigger
candidates
releases.
and major releases.
Yeah, but not so much it's going to break the site. It's more like it's going to break plugins because they're not compatible.
Yeah.
So WordPress on its own would be, well, from what I've seen, would be totally fine if you didn't have any other plugins and you're using a default theme. Be absolutely fine to update, but it's the other plugins that aren't quite there yet. So important to check your site.
Cool. Hey, want to give a big shout out. We are streaming, apparently. So just tonight on the boring show, Troy's going to tell you what happened with the live stream thing. Live stream has one job, to allow us to live stream to Facebook, and it failed. So we're now live streaming into Facebook via an RMTP server URL, thanks to Ray Milladoni, who figured that out 2 minutes before we went live. That's why we're actually running late this week. So we're live streaming, but we can't get the feedback on the screen here to show us how many viewers there are, or all that stuff that's going on. But I can tell you, people are watching.
11
We have
is the count.
Torkild
at the moment.
Smith, Matthew Rodella, Colleen Gratzer, Richie Zengoski, Matt Valak. Richie says, hey guys, Brad Hull is a smiley face with tears coming out laughing. Colleen says,
That's,
laughing my arse off.
Brad Hull's one of my clients.
Is that right?
G'day, Brad.
Hey Brad, there you
Thanks for chiming in.
go.
I will talk to you in a couple of hours.
He's sweet. This is why nothing's getting done on your website, dude, because he's sitting there pretending to be butthead.
He knows.
Yeah. So there we go. It's working on Facebook. Hello, thanks for watching and tuning in.
Cool.
What else?
Little change of pace there. So
Okay, yeah.
next little bit of news from WP Tavern is desktop server 3.8.4 is out. It says in the title it includes a gift to the community, which I thought was interesting to just add into the title there. I assume what they're talking about there is that they've added in a top-level domain .dev.cc, which you can use for your local development, because recently Google Actually, I don't even know the exact
Well, I can
news.
tell you what happened. Is Desktop Server is this fantastic local environment that allows you to develop websites locally before you push them to the staging environment or the cloud. It speeds up your development. You can do it on an aeroplane because you don't need an internet connection, basically. So the domain extension that you always use to develop stuff locally was .dev, which was awesome until the Google Meister came along and bought .dev and registered it as a top-level domain.
So it was Google that
Correct.
made the change.
That's right.
Right.
And then what happened is because when you're typically developing locally, you're not running SSL certificates, right? So you'd go and check your website in your local browser using Desktop Server, and you just get security warnings all the time saying this is not secure because you're using .dev, and the whole thing got screwed up. So Flywheel's local, they use .local as their top-level domain extension. So Desktop Server now using .dev.cc. A little bit clunky?
Yeah,
I
a
reckon.
little bit.
Bit clunky?
So, like looking at some of the comments and people's feedback, people have switched to .test
Yep.
or .localhost,
Yeah.
which both of these by design aren't able to be registered by someone else, so they're available to be used, and no one's going to buy them.
You can. There is a config file in Desktop Server which allows you to change the top-level domain you're using. I just use .x.
Sure, that's
Because
quite
it's
easy
the
to remember,
quickest.
isn't it?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The amount of keystrokes you'll save per year is incredible.
Correct. That's right. Invaluable.
More time for Product Hunt.
Yeah. That's
Cool.
right. Or crypto. So I think .dev.cc is a bit clunky, but anyway, just my humble opinion.
So, Google is also, they released some news that they're using page speed in mobile search ranking as well. They were using...
Can they
were
get their
using it in
page speed
desktop.
tool right first?
Yeah,
Like, can we
well,
give us some guidance, please? You know,
yeah.
like at least allow us to get half a green light.
Yeah. So there are there was a couple of tools that Google mentioned on this blog post. One was the Google Mobile Test. The other is Page Speed Insights, which, as you're saying, is like. And then another one is Lighthouse Audit, which I hadn't actually seen before. So I gave that a test. And I went to the page where you install Lighthouse Audit and audited the page using Lighthouse, and it came up with heaps of issues. So
That's fantastic.
Sure.
That's great.
How can you
In
get
fact,
some
if you
valuable info?
interestingly enough, if you go to Page Speed Insights and run Google.com through Page Speed Insights,
And go get a coffee and then come back. Oh, that's pretty cool.
they have Page Speed Insights received a 503 response from the server. Brilliant. Speed is unavailable. Optimization is good, but their speed is just unavailable. So that's on mobile. On desktop, yep, again, optimization is good, speed is unavailable. So the Page Speed Insight tool doesn't even work on the old Google.com.
Well, you could be setting us up for disaster by forcing them to work live stream, because we've got a couple of things we have to live stream today in the show. So let's hope this doesn't come back to bite us.
Yeah, it will.
So my preferred tools are GT Metrics and Pingdom tools when it comes to checking your website for speed.
Yep.
But Google's mobile test is pretty good. It usually comes up with their, I think it's visibility errors, and to check in and have a look at those. I don't pay much attention to those because there's usually errors every single time, so I don't really make a lot of sense from that information. But making sure that it does look good on a mobile, it's a good tool for that. And then you want your speed to be below 3 seconds when it comes to your website. So from what I've read in the community as well, it's more about penalizing the really, really slow websites. Like we're talking like above 20 seconds, 30 seconds. So starting with penalizing those ones, and then it'll eventually chime in. So it's always a great user experience to have a faster website anyway. So you want to be a little step ahead of Google and optimizing for what they want in the future, and that is a great user experience. So always be doing your best to improve your website speed.
Cool. WPElevation.com is mobile friendly.
Oh, the green tick,
Has
that's what you want.
page loading issues.
Yeah, so have a look at those, and
yeah.
you'll see that you won't understand them,
That's right.
which is exactly
Yep.
what you want. There you go.
Yep. No idea.
Cool.
Awesome.
All right, so next little bit of news. Facebook algorithm changes to focus on meaningful interactions between people.
This astounds me because what was the Facebook algorithm doing before?
That's it.
It's like it's like when you go to the supermarket and you see like a skincare product and it says new and improved formula, which means that shit we were selling you before was no good and was basically poison, and now we've made it even better.
You remember with Ribena when they actually had to do that apology?
Yeah.
And they had the new packaging that said, now actually with vitamin C.
Yeah, it was just sugar before.
Yeah.
So
was.
if Facebook is now changing their algorithm to focus on meaningful interactions between people, what were they doing before? What was the point before? Was it? I don't understand.
Listening to conversations, I think, through your mobile microphone.
I mean, basically what's happening here is the feedback that they've been getting, the product team have been getting, is that there's too much business stuff in your feed. There's too many ads. There's too many posts from pages, and not enough stuff from your friends. We were talking off camera before. The problem I see with this is that Facebook makes an assumption that most people know how to post a meaningful interaction. I don't think they do.
Yeah.
I love my Facebook feed because it's basically full of groups. It's full of the interaction that happens in the groups and the pages that I follow.
Yeah.
And there's not much shit there from my friends or family because frankly, they don't really have much interesting to say.
So you've crafted the meaningful experience that you
correct.
want. And
this is what when people say, I hate Facebook, I say you're not using it right. Like the way to tell Facebook what to put in your feed is if you see something on Facebook that you like, you can't just say, oh, I like that, because despite popular opinion, we don't think they're actually listening to you on your phone. You actually have to push the like button or leave a comment or share it. They're the only ways that you can tell Facebook, I like this, give me more of it. And so I actively like things, comment, share, and my feed now is pretty well tuned to the things that I'm interested in. Scandinavian furniture, cryptocurrency,
apps for your apps.
Correct, apps for my apps,
That's it. Meaningful interactions.
That's right.
With apps.
And nappy bins.
Nice. So there's an article by Jay Baer. Is it Baer or Bayer?
Bayer, yeah. I don't know. Bayer.
Which is 9 antidotes to the Facebook algorithm squeeze. You can find that on Convince and Convert. And I won't go through all the things here, but the first one is post content that solicits thoughtful responses. And I think that really just sums it up pretty nicely. Like if you want to, as a business, if you're on Facebook, they're not talking from a personal perspective here. They're talking more from a business perspective. So it's about getting some engagement. If you're just using some tool to just post stuff up about like, look at my business, look at what we're doing, buy this, buy that, you're not going to get anything. Like you're not going to get any organic reaction or any, it's pretty much happening at the moment anyway. So if you're engaging with an audience and actively trying to get some thoughtful responses, basically, like putting out some pieces that are a bit more opinion-based and getting some feedback. I saw a bit of content as well, I think it was from Jeff Bullis, about posting video because video is likely to get more engagement and like not just entertainment, or informative stuff, but things that are actually engaging. So where we're doing a show here, we're actually looking at the comments, we're doing Q&A as well, so there is live interaction that we shall demonstrate right now. So
this is my favourite comment. My favourite comment on this show has just come in. Actually two. Matthew Rodella says, hey guys, I really look forward to these videos every week. I cannot tell you how much that means, Matthew. We would do this show just for you, brother. I cannot tell you how much that means to get that kind of feedback. We love doing this show. There are many times where we sit here wondering if anyone else cares or if anyone else is paying any attention or if we're just a bunch of lunatics. So we love that feedback. But here's my favourite comment of all time. It comes from Marcella Veron. I hope I've said your name right, Marcella. She says, I love this show, learned so much, and might have a little bit of crush on both of you.
Ooh.
Hey, there you go. Fan mail, love it. Oh, love warm fuzzies and dopamine hit. It's all beautiful. We love doing this show for you guys. We absolutely love doing this show. It's a lot of fun, and hopefully you might learn something in the process.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what it's all about. Like,
well, and this is the thing. That's right. I mean, this is the thing. The problem is that most people use Facebook to either vent or to try and sell or get leads. I think the ultimate. I think one of the problems with posting engaging content is that it requires you to be a bit vulnerable. It requires you to put yourself out there. It requires you to share your opinions and to be willing to have people hate on you because they do. People will come in and they will criticize you. So I think that's part of the problem with the Facebook issue at the moment with the whole content, engaging content thing and meaningful interaction is that it requires people to be vulnerable. And when I say vulnerable, I don't mean sharing your life story and bleating about your ex-husband and how much of a douchebag he is all over Facebook, because that's meant for private conversation. That's actually not engaging. It's a little bit off-putting and a little bit needy, and I see that kind of stuff and I just skip past it straight away. So opinionated stuff that elicits a thoughtful response. I'm just not sure that Facebook is going to be ultimately the right format for that. I mean, you've got Medium, you've got Steam It, you've got all these other sort of opinion places that are more conducive to posting long-form opinion pieces. Facebook still, for me, I treat Facebook like a party where everyone's drunk, you know, and like the conversations you have on Facebook are those pissed conversations you have at the end of the night at a party where everyone's off their face. That's really kind of that's how Facebook has evolved. Sorry, Zuck. But that's how Facebook has kind of evolved, and I think it's going to be a long way back to get it to some kind of, you know, highbrow, meaningful place. Anyway,
what I think happened is that Zuckerberg said, it's on my goals this year to improve Facebook. And then he just created the news post to say, right, we're improving it and it's meaningful interactions because that's what people want. Yeah. And then that's all he's going to do.
Yeah.
It's done.
It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. So the first thing they've basically said is that if as a business page you're posting content, it's not going to get shown as much. So you now need to pay us to get your message in front of your audience, which is fine.
Which you pretty much have to anyway. Getting organic reach is almost impossible at the moment.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Cool.
Cool. All right.
So there we go. All right. Q&A. Still don't have any of our little cutaways at the moment yet, but it's coming. I've seen some of the graphic design for the show, and it's going to be awesome. I'm really excited.
The branding for the show is off the charts, isn't it?
Great.
We can't wait to share it with you. We've got this new branding happening where we've got little bumpers for little segments, and he's got a butthead mask he's going to wear every episode.
Yeah, it's about time.
Yeah. So, but we have got some Q&A. We have got some questions from our community. This comes from our private Facebook group, from our WP Elevation members. Hey, if you don't have to be a member to ask a question. If you've got a question you'd like us to address on the show, leave a comment at facebook.com/WP Elevation, which is on our Facebook page, or go to our YouTube channel at wpelevation.com/YouTube. Subscribe to the channel and click the little bell to get notified. And leave us a comment there and ask a question there, and we will do our best to cover those questions in the show. The questions this week are specifically around our topic that we're talking about, which is getting design feedback from clients, getting feedback from clients on a design project. Some of the questions, have you got a particular favourite one? Or?
Well, there were two that I wanted to cover. The first one was Jamie Hills, and I really wanted to cover this one because I think it's a very common scenario. Jamie doesn't phrase it as a question, which is fine, Jamie, but that's hard to say, but that's okay. He says, endless emails back and forth with the clients. That is the hardest aspect we deal with. Site builds have daily content being changed and worked on. We have a system where they only get short-term access, as in clients only get short-term access. With that being said, we still have issues getting correct content back or getting feedback fully from the client. This is a very, very common scenario, and I think you may have made it unnecessarily difficult by giving access and an unending feedback loop to the client. It's not something that's really conducive for either side of the party. So we'll go a little bit into detail about how I do it, and we can pick that apart as well, because it's probably not perfect. But I like to put it into rounds of changes. So instead of it just being, all right, here's the site, add your content, you know, let me know if you need anything, and then it's just going to be a never-ending conversation. Yeah. So if you actually schedule in times and just like really pre-frame how this works to the client, to say what we're going to do is we're going to give you access. If this is how your process works, we're going to give you access. We're going to let you load in your content, and then we're going to have a meeting time for revision 1. Correct. And we'll put all the changes together, everything you need, and batch them together, and that's revision 1. Yep. We'll then have a second meeting for revision 2 if needed. And then further revisions from there are not actually part of this project. And you let them know that first, and they're like, right, okay, so we've got to kind of get all their stuff together, all the stakeholders need to have a meeting together, whatever they've got to do to be able to get this done in 2 meetings, right? And you just steer the ship and make sure that's actually happening in 2 meetings. Correct. And that really helps to move things along.
Getting daily changes on content is a nightmare that you will never get out of. Yeah. Yep. I would, exactly what Butthead said.
Oh, thanks, man. So Trish Cooper had some great advice on this. She actually gave us a bit of a snippet from what she recommends. I'll just kind of paraphrase this. Is that they present their best design for the website. Basically, they're letting the client know that we're going to present the best design for the website. We'll design your 3 most important pages. This will be presented as a prototype. You'll review this and provide us 1 list of revisions that you want to make. We'll then discuss with you how these revisions serve your business and goals, and revise the design with your target audience in mind. I think she's done such a great job
So
of
do I.
just succinctly
Yeah,
communicating that.
I love it when she says here, one further optional round, but any changes must be based on how the change would affect the bottom line, not your personal taste.
It's great.
Love it.
Yeah, that's something that I think people would be a little fearful of saying to a client, but it's great. It works for both parties.
Yep.
I remember having a client say to me, and he could be on the show right now, he'll know who he is. He said, "It just doesn't look right to my eye." And I was like, "Oh, what does that mean? Like, what can we do with this?"
Yeah.
And that was fine.
I'll
like
make
for
it
the
pink.
project we're working on.
Is that better if it's
and
pink?
We needed to do some education. We needed to get back to the drawing board. Okay, well, what are our goals here? And that if you keep saying, okay, well, how about this? How about this? How about this? That's a never-ending conversation.
That's right.
But if you go, okay, let's cut it back. Let's stop. If you're in the loop of doing these kind of changes back and forth, you need to stop for a sec and say, okay, client, what we want to do is like work more efficiently together. So what we'll do is we'll batch all the changes together. We'll talk about we'll revisit the goals for the project, and then let's get on the same page so we can move forward more effectively.
How do you handle it when a client says, it just needs to pop
Yeah, that's it.
a bit more.
Yeah.
Just needs to pop.
It really reminds me of that
Bit more.
cartoon from the Oatmeal.
What does that mean, pop?
Have you seen that one?
No.
No, you haven't?
No, probably.
It's great. Yeah. It's like they get the cat involved in the design process.
Yeah,
and,
yeah. Just
it's
needs to
all
pop.
multicolored.
Yeah. What
It
does
just doesn't
pop?
wow me.
Doesn't wow.
Yeah, I've definitely had
make
that in the
it
past,
pop.
and thankfully through good positioning and good interactions at the beginning of a project, positioning yourself as the expert and doing things when you say you're going to do them, letting the client know how the process is going to work. It usually makes the process run a lot
And the thing
smoother.
is, what you don't realise is that the clients actually, the tighter your process is, and the more that the clients realise that you're in charge and that you're driving the process, the less likely they are to veer off. Right? You walk into a restaurant, and if their process is down, the maitre d' or the head waiter says, table for 3. Do you have a booking? Yes, no problem. Great. Follow me. Seats you at the table. You don't get halfway through the restaurant and go, actually, dude, we're going to sit over here, if that's all right. No. You have to follow the waiter to the table. Then he usually brings some water, puts some water on the table. Can I, here's the menus. I'll be back in a moment. Can I take your drinks order? You know what, mate? We're just going to skip straight to dessert first.
Can we
then
see
bring
another
the
range
mains.
of cups? Can I get different cups?
This one's not popping for me. This water doesn't pop. Can you make it pop and bring dessert? And then show me the menu. Just bring me a surprise dessert. You're in their process. They have a process for a reason, right? And so you trust that they know what they're doing, so you don't veer from the path.
And that's a better experience for you as the patron,
It is.
right? So
That's
it's
right.
a better experience for clients as well.
right.
So it's not just about like, I'm the expert, do what I say. That's part of it, because they're hiring you as the expert.
That's right.
But also, it's a great experience for them if they can just rely on you to steer the ship.
Yep. Exactly. All right, good. Anything else? A couple of comments here from Facebook. Colleen says, yes, exactly. I agree. I do this. It works. Cormac Donahue says, great show, guys. Love these project management tips. As I'm in Ireland and it's 11:36 p.m, I'll share this with my team tomorrow. Awesome, Cormac. I hope you're drunk watching this show at 11:36 at night. No, I'm kidding. Brett Drinkwater says, needs to pop equals, I haven't got a clue about UI design or UX, but this sounds like I do. Yeah. Funny thing is, I was actually talking to one of our video editors yesterday on the phone, and I said to him, I'm going to say it, dude. You just need to make them pop.
Wow.
And he laughed. He said, I know exactly what you mean. I said, yeah, I knew you would.
So it does work. What do you?
Well,
you
because
just
I don't know how.
completely
Because I don't
changed
know
the
how.
advice.
Yes, but I just said whatever he does, I trust that he knows how to make it pop, and I trust that he knows what pop means. And what I'm basically saying to him is, I don't know how to articulate this in words that are meaningful, so I'm just going to say, make it pop. And we had a bit of a laugh about it. So anyway,
with that, actually,
do as we say, not as we do.
That's it. So with that, actually, one more question is, and it's a little bit to the side, but still, what do you do when a client completely backflips on a brief or a design? Like, what do you do when you send it over and they say it doesn't pop, but not just that, they just say, I don't like any of it.
Mike Monteiro has got a great response to this. Yeah. Is this
Short and sweet.
Is this a family time slot? Or?
It is.
So you just go to Vimeo or YouTube and look up Mike Monteiro, Monteiro, I think is how you spell his name. He's got a great presentation called Fuck You, Pay Me. And the answer to that question is you say, okay, you don't like it? That's great. Fuck you. Pay me for the design that we've done so far, and then let's start again. And this time, maybe give me a meaningful brief that I can understand and interpret. So you don't just panic and go, oh my God, they don't like it. I'm going to have to go and design a whole new thing for free. No, 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 no. They have to pay you for the work that's done. Is that your mouse?
It is. You can use my computer if you like.
I'm wondering what's going on.
Are you a lefty?
It's a long story.
Oh,
Shall
let's
we?
not get into that part of it.
Sidebar. Give me a camera. Sidebar. Which camera's mine? Sidebar here. My brother is a left-handed man, and his computer was the first computer that I ever learned to use when he bought a computer. It was the first computer in the house. And so I learned to use a mouse left-handed. Nowadays, I'm right-handed. Nowadays, I can't use a mouse right-handed. I have to use it left-handed. My wife, her sister is right-handed. My wife is left-handed. So guess what? She's a right-handed mouse user. I'm a left-handed mouse user. So I hope that clears that up.
What?
Tonight on The Boring Show, Troy's going to talk about why he's a left-handed mousey. Stay with us. Anyway, the point is that you need to say to the client, we've done the work. I'm sorry you hate it. Pay us and we'll start again with a new brief.
Yeah, ideally you don't want it to get to that point, and that's about having good conversations at the start, getting a good brief, really understanding it. If you send a brief to a client, I saw a couple of comments in our private group about this recently. If you get a brief from a client and it comes back like, I like red, and that's pretty much all they're saying, which was actually what came back in a brief that I saw, that's a red flag.
Bam! I like red. That's a red flag.
Yeah, it's a red flag if they're not going to follow the process. It needs to, it's very important that you follow the process because we want to create something amazing for you, so you need to help us. This is a collaborative effort. You need to help us put together a brief.
And it ain't going to be red.
That's it.
Hi, I'm Dad Joke Dave. Welcome to Silence is Golden. Roby Lawrence has just tuned in. Have you gone through the Make My Logo Bigger yet?
Not yet.
I'm always saying make our logo smaller. I had this conversation recently with Ray and I said, can you get the dev team to make our logo smaller? I can see it from Mars, man.
Yeah. But it has to pop still.
It has to pop and it's got to be red.
Cool.
Colleen says you're fired. Yep, I don't know if she's talking to us or her client, but either way, you're right, Colleen. Yes, we agree. Yeah, that's right. If they start nitpicking over colours and fonts and minutiae, love that word, minutiae, then they are trying to regain control and play art director. And you have to, I mean, my response is, how many websites have you launched? Sorry, how many Webby awards have you won for design?
You just pay for
Didn't
those,
see
right?
them on the bookcase when I was in your office.
Yeah.
Well, didn't know you were an art director. Anyway, so how do we solve this problem, Simon?
Who knows? But let's talk about some strategies that might help.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Insert bumper.
yeah.
It'll be here in a couple of weeks.
Should we have sound effects for it, do you think?
Yeah, we'll have sound effects.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
We'll experiment with that.
Yeah, bit of beatboxing. Yeah. Boom, chicka, wah, wah.
So really, like I said this before, educate your clients on the process. So you should do this as early as possible, ideally within your proposal. So even before you've won this, you want to let them know how the process works. So they're literally buying into the process, right? And then I actually reiterate it as part of my onboarding sequence as well. And then I let them know via the kickoff meeting, I'll go through a bit of a checklist and I'll let them know how revisions work, like via a phone call, and how to give feedback. So just want to really make sure I'm drilling home how the process works. I just want to be able to, at the beginning of the process, really catch any surprises before they come up and they don't understand how to do things. I want to address that as early as possible. So do it as early as we can. Really, if for any tool that you use to do your proposals, whatever, you can even just stick this on a sticky note and just write it down and just make sure that you pay attention to that, right? So when you're developing a new process and you're adding this into your system, you want to just go with like the easiest, lowest friction way to remind yourself to do this. So something that you're going to see regularly, is it going to be in your project management tool? Is it going to be a sticky note that's on your desk? Something that's going to be easy for you to access, and it's going to be a good reminder. So start with that and then see where you can implement it into a tool. So
correct.
Now we're getting to
only use the technology to try and automate or scale something that's already working.
Already working, exactly.
Did you already say that?
No, I didn't.
Because I tuned out for a couple of minutes. Sorry,
crypto.
No. Are we screen sharing? Can we screen share? No, we can't screen share. Okay.
You're on the wrong Wi-Fi.
I'm on the screen share.
Really?
So
I'm on the right Wi-Fi.
I'll do the screen share, mate. All
Okay.
right?
Well, anyway, I was going to point people
Well,
to
we can have a look at that if you want.
troydean.com.au/process, which basically outlines the process for a client so that they know in advance that I have a process and that I'm, in control and in charge because I'm a control freak and I'm the boss. And basically, in the very first paragraph, I just walk them through, the brief. I'm going to take a brief. I'm going to ask you the right questions to uncover the truth about why you need a website and exactly what it is you're trying to achieve. There it is on the screen. Some of these questions may seem a little uncomfortable. In fact, if it doesn't get a little awkward, then chances are I haven't done my job. So I'm pre-framing right from the get-go that I'm in charge here, I'm driving this process, I'm asking the questions, and you need to be a compliant client.
Also, if things get weird and they're like, this isn't working well, you've already told them
Correct.
that that's going to happen.
Told you to get
so
weird.
just feel cool.
I need to see your crypto portfolio for us to work together. There's nothing
it will get
awkward
awkward.
about. I
Let's
told
do
you to get
this.
awkward. That's right. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it's great. This is ideal, and
Yeah.
like the way that you put it together, it's nice and succinct. It's really easy for a client to understand.
Yep.
I think there's a tendency to over-explain so many things, so just keep it nice and short. Otherwise, your clients are going to get overwhelmed, and they're not going to read it anyway.
Corondus Adair on Facebook says, I had a mother-daughter client argue over the logo for 2 months.
No breaks,
dear
just
me.
the whole time.
Everything one loved, the other hated.
Wow.
And in that 2 months, they made no sales.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to get into a tool that I use. There's quite a few different options out there for tools that you use. I'm going to go through a couple of options, but the one that I really like, and I'm actually trialing it at the moment, and it's working quite well with my clients, it's called Project Huddle. You can check it out at projecthuddle.io, and we'll dive in and I'll show you a bit of my process. So I've loaded up the tabs array so we don't have to load any pages, so we should be cool, but we'll see how we go.
Fancy.
All right, so this is the back end of the Renegade Empire website, which is my agency website. We're looking at 2 mock-up designs that I've just actually put together for a client. Clocks at Flinders, which is at Flinders Street Station. Pretty excited about this one.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah, so what we've got in the back end here is mock-ups. So you can have mock-ups, which are static images, or you can have websites. So you can be getting live feedback from a client on a live website. They can click on a space on the website and then say, I don't like this logo or whatever, and you can actually communicate with them via comments like that. It's a great way of getting feedback. What I'm going to show you here is I've actually done my design in Sketch and I've uploaded it to to Project Huddle within my website. And then what I do is I set it up as a new project. So Clock's website, we've just designed the homepage and then a dining page, and then we give access to the client, so they get a login, and then they can jump on and they can actually add comments. So I'll show you the different stages for this. So first of all, create the project, upload the image, and then what I'll do is I'll go into the image. So this is what it actually looks like.
Fancy.
Yeah, so it looks like the website. The website should. So I can click anywhere here, and I can actually add in a comment to let the client know something. So I like to create a bunch of comments to let them know different elements, and like if there's any animation or anything like that. Just like this will be replaced by whatever.
Beavis and Butthead walking along the bottom of the screen.
Yeah. A giant griffin is going to fly in and it's going to land
With
in
Beavis
the
and
middle.
Butthead on the back of it.
Yeah, that's it. Check out my crypto stash. So I just did a couple of example ones here. So number 1, contact info here, moved phone and email to the top because this is actually revision 2 for this project.
Good, yeah.
So they can just hover over and they can actually see that. If they want to reply, they can go ahead and reply here. They can also click anywhere and just say something like, well, this is actually real and the client could give me feedback. So let's just say, testing this.
Yeah.
And I can add a comment there. I did say I wasn't going to do anything live, but there we go, and it worked.
Sweet,
Cool.
beautiful.
So there we go. So there's another spot there. So the client can actually see these. So I'll send the images to the client, and then I'll also send them this tool, because I don't want them just to use this and go, oh, I can't figure out how to log in, I can't do anything. I want them to be able to make sure, like, we want the feedback through this tool, but if you are having trouble, I've actually attached the images for you here.
Do they need to log in to leave you comments?
They don't necessarily have to, but I prefer to set them up with an account, and I give them the login within the email.
Okay.
So I'll show.
But when
I'll
they
show
log
what the
in, they
email
don't
looks
see the
like.
back end of WordPress. They just see, right.
No,
right.
they just see, it's actually not even the WordPress login page. They just see your logo and then first name, email,
Love
login.
it. Love it.
Yeah, and then
So this is essentially, we've used We've used InVision for years.
Yep.
This is essentially very similar to InVision, but it's in WordPress.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Love it.
So other ways you can do it, like if you're not using a tool, if you want to just keep it as lean and easy as possible, you can use something like Dropbox, where you can also just add in an image and then you can have comments in there.
Yep.
You could also use a PDF because you can quite easily
Mark
add
up.
comments into one. So actually, Colleen, who's on the line right now, actually sent me a mock-up because she was working on a project with me. Sent me a mock-up. One was the design, and the second was the mock-up with some annotations, with different comments explaining some different things. I actually thought that was great, and that's a really low friction way of putting that together. So no real complicated tool to put together there. And yeah, that was a good experience. So thanks for that, Colleen. That worked really well.
Fantastic.
I like to make things way more complicated, but I think this process works quite nicely. You were taking a breath
I'm just looking at the pricing here at Project Huddle. It's $89 a year. We don't have any affiliate links here, by the way. We should, but we don't. $89 a year, unlimited projects, unlimited users, white labeled. You install it on one WordPress install, but you have unlimited cross-domain projects.
Yep.
That's off the charts.
Yeah.
$89 a year or $499 one-time payment. That's it. You're done.
And if you hover to close, you'll get
an exit pop-up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I did that before and I
Okay.
exited. Yeah.
10% off instantly.
10% off. So go to their page, exit, and you'll get a pop-up which gives you 10% off.
Yeah, and the support's great. It was really easy to set up. What I would absolutely love is for the comments to go to my project management tool. I was talking to Christina Hawkins, who's one of our mentors, about this. And I found a bit of a workaround that I'm not game to try.
Zapier, Teamwork, kind of.
Not to Teamwork, it won't go to Teamwork. So it's got a Trello integration.
Oh, yeah.
So I was thinking, and this is when I need to close the computer and get
step
outside.
away from the computer.
I was thinking, all right, so what I'll do is I'll post the comments to Trello and then set up a Zapier Zap to then post into Teamwork. I was like, great, perfect. And then I was like, I'm gonna go outside quickly, get some sun.
Beer?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, step away.
Cool, so that's how I set it up. So I do put it together, put the comments on that I want.
Love it.
And then what I actually do is I record a video and I send it to the client. And I walk them through the design. I try to take
So you
less
make a
than
video
10
about
minutes.
their website. You don't just make a video of you like dancing in a hula skirt or something.
Well.
With a Beavis and Butthead thing on you, drinking cocktails at 5 o'clock on a Friday afternoon.
How do you know?
Yeah?
No,
Because I watch you, man. That's why.
Yeah, exactly.
You've got cameras in your apartment.
So yeah, prepare the notes for your
Creepy.
design. Anything that you need to explain, you don't just send them the design and say, "Here it is. What do you think?" You walk them through the design. Like take less than 10 minutes if you do it via video. Much better, much more efficient than doing it via text. So I use Screencast-O-Matic to do that. This is the free one's great, but there was a premium version for $15 a year, and it just has editing. So I just got that. I don't think I need it, but just the fact that I'm supporting them, it's such a fantastic tool. $15 a year is 18. Oh my God, they've gone up, ridiculous.
Wow.
But just it's an amazing tool. I use it all the time to communicate videos, things like that to my client.
Yep.
So what I'll do is record a video. You can do a little editing if you want. I'm pretty good at doing one take after doing these Facebook videos. So then I actually send that to YouTube and make it unlisted.
Yep.
And then I'll send the client the link to that. So they check that out, and then
Genius.
it's not bad, I think.
Genius. Yeah.
So then, let's have a look at one more thing. So we're jumping into my Evernote now. This is actually a bit of a draft email. This isn't the exact email, but it'll be pretty close, that I sent to this client. His name's Anthony.
Hi, Anthony.
Gave him a bit of a welcome back. I went down to Phillip Island. Again, welcome to the Boring Show. I'm pleased to present the mock-up for the website. We've got the homepage and the dining page here. There's a few notes to explain things. The files are attached to this email. I've also added this was one of the first times using this tool, so I wanted to let him know that this is a new tool we're using. You can just click and point and you can add comments. If you're happy to use it, that'd be great, but if you have any trouble, we can just ditch the software and we can just do feedback via email. I've already let him know that we do revision, so he's already pre-framed with that. I didn't really think necessary to reiterate that. He jumped in, logged in, didn't really give us any feedback other than it looks great, and he put the comments within the design, and it worked beautifully.
Perfect.
So we're doing the next revision now, which you can also do directly from the tool and using the same login, and it worked quite nicely.
Now, I just want to take a step a little bit back to up to the 30,000 foot view to kind of loop back to Jamie's question, right? All these tools are fantastic. They allow you to be very lean and very agile and move very quickly. Project Huddle, Screen-O-Matic, was that what it's called? Screencast-O-Matic. These are all great tools, but as we mentioned at the start of this, the Q&A section, if you need to keep your clients, and I mean this respectfully, you need to keep your clients on a tight leash and you need to keep them in your process. So if you give your clients, because none of these tools are going to matter if your clients' expectations are that they can still call you or email you 1,000 times a day and ask, oh, by the way, I've had this brain fart of an idea where this should be red and bigger and we should see sprinkles when we load the page. Here, can you make that happen? If you're still facilitating that communication and allowing your client to do that, none of these tools are going to help you, right? So you need to be really tight with your process and manage those expectations from the start, and then these types of tools can definitely help.
Yeah. So get your process right in the leanest way you can first.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like to just go to the whiteboard and just write down how it should work.
Yep.
Keep it nice and simple. Not always come up with like, how should it work in the absolute ideal situation and everything that should happen. Just like, what's the minimum that I need to do to be able to not take all of my life to try to put this together in a perfect way? Let's just get this done, but let's make it pretty good. Let's get 70% of the way there, and then I'll just iterate and improve that with the more websites that we do, and integrate tools to help improve the process.
And the number one thing you can do is to let your client know that you're going to have a weekly meeting with them to give them an update on the project and get their feedback. So that they know that that's scheduled in, because the main reason that they'll be contacting you all the time is because they don't know when the next status update is. So if you can schedule that in and say, hey, here are the designs, give me some feedback, we're going to meet Thursday afternoon at 3 o'clock every week during the build process. So, you know, batch all of your requests up, and then every Thursday we'll meet for an hour and go through all of your changes, and then we'll batch them. Then at least they know there's a touch point coming, and then they're more likely to you know, follow your process and be compliant.
Yep, and it's easy for you because you don't have to do the back and forth scheduling of when are we meeting next. Oh, can you drive over to my house?
Yeah.
No, they already know there's a weekly call at this time.
Correct.
Beautiful.
That's right.
Yep.
The other, just quick, finally, the other mindset thing is that if a client gets a little bit like, well, why can't you drop everything and work on my project? The answer is because when I'm working on your project, I don't drop everything to go work on another client's project. I have to pay all of my clients equal respect. So when I'm working on someone else's project and you email me, I might not get back to you for 6 hours because I don't check my emails until late in the day because I'm in the zone doing the do, right? And then when I'm working on your project, I'm not distracted by other people. I'm working on your project. So that's why we have these processes in place.
Yeah, that's great, actually. And these kind of things you want to be able to communicate ahead of time. If you've got a client you've worked with for years, it's never too late to reset those expectations. Just especially this time of year.
Yeah.
Hey, I'd just love to touch base and let's have a look at 2018. What does it look like for you? And it's a great opportunity to reset their expectations for you while learning more about their goals for the year.
Yep.
And you can check out our goal setting episode. Oh no, it wasn't even an episode. It was a workshop that we had on the WP Elevation page. Pretty epic training webinar that we put together on goal setting, and we actually gave away a template that you can use for your clients. Nice and easy to use.
Did. Awesome. Good stuff.
Brings us to tool of the week.
Tool of the week.
No bumper, but yeah, tool of the week. Something about a hammer hitting the ground, which is Project Huddle. So one of the easiest ways to collect feedback from clients, not just on the design itself in a static image, but actually on a live website. So we're working with a couple of clients now to work on like the New Year's kind of changes, batching them together, and they're going through their own website and just clicking and pointing and adding comments about things that they want to change. And that just is a great opportunity to open up the conversation with them about some improvements to the website. That's working really well.
Awesome. Good stuff, dude. Well done, butthead. Not bad for you. Hey, if you're enjoying the show, then please share it with your friends. Tell your grandma to tune in, and we'll do our best to offend her in some way. Subscribe to us on YouTube at wplelevation.com/YouTube and click the little bell to get notified when we post these up. We do go live usually at 10 o'clock Sydney time every Tuesday morning, which is in the middle of the afternoon Pacific time, or very late at night if you're in the UK or Europe. So that's Monday for you guys, Tuesday if you're here in Australia. Like us on Facebook, share, comment, do all those kind of cool things. And also tell us what you would like to learn next about running your WordPress consulting business. If you're just starting out, what do you need to do to get started? If you're up and about, what do you need to do to scale and make it more profitable? We're here to answer your questions and make this show all about you guys. And in the future, we are going to be calling out to get some of you guys on the show. So if you're really busting to get on the show and actually come in as a remote guest, Ray's figured out the technology. He reckons we can do it. That's right. He's got all these levers he's pulling like a mad professor in the producer's booth.
He has to pedal throughout this whole show. I don't know if
He's
anyone
just
knows
on a
that.
little bike pedaling the whole time, keeping Facebook going. So get in touch with us and let us know that you'd like to be on the show. Preferably if you've got something valuable to say and contribute. We could just put you in the corner actually and just say hi to you while you're on the show. Hi Colleen, how you going? You don't have to say anything. No, you do. You have to have something to contribute. So let us know if you want to be a guest on the show, and keep your eyes on the show over the next few weeks as we start rolling out the new branding for Silence is Golden. I'm very much looking forward to it. It's very exciting.
Yeah,
it's very exciting indeed.
So just a little tease as well, and to give us a bit of pressure to plan ahead for the next episode.
Yeah.
I think we should do something on proposals.
Okay.
So putting together proposals is one of the most important things, because we did talk about that it's really important to start a project off right.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in that, let us know in the comments, and we'll put together a bit of a live show either next week or in the future about that. But if there is something specific you'd like to know, please do let us know in the comments, and yeah, we'd love to be able to facilitate a specific question and help you on your journey to become a WordPress consultant.
Awesome. I hope you're having as much fun as we are. We'll see you next week. I'm Troy Dean.
I'm Simon Kelly.
Go elevate.